Good morning, everybody. I think I was on mute. I was just speaking to myself. So thank you very much for being part of this webinar. Urvashi may have already introduced Yuva to you. Sorry, I just joined in 2 minutes later. Urvashi, you did, right?
No, Suman, I haven't introduced Yuva yet. I can go ahead and do that.
Go ahead and do that, please.
Fantastic. Um, Thank you for joining us, everybody. A quick introduction to Yuva and Generation Unlimited. In India, Yuva, we began our work as part of Yuva and Generation Unlimited in 2019. As part of the platform, we are attempting to solve critical challenges of education, employment, entrepreneurship, and we place youth at the center of the initiatives that we aim to um, implement through our partners. As you may know, GenU or Yuva is a coalition of partners, and it's a platform of partners through which we attempt to reach out to 100 million, 200 million, and 300 million young people. Coming to the three pillars of Yuva, under pillar one, we aim to provide connects to aspirational employment opportunities. Under pillar one, Yuva primarily looks at creating job connects and providing young people with entrepreneurship opportunities. We hope to reach out to 100 million young people through our work in pillar one. Under pillar two, we hope to provide continued learning opportunities to young people. We hope to reach out to 200 million young people to provide these opportunities to them across the areas of 21st century skills, career guidance, as well as digital learning. Today's You and I Learn platform is a platform created collaboratively by UNICEF as well as Yuva, and we hope to bring a lot of you on board to provide content to young people and train teachers. And then coming finally to pillar three, wherein we hope to position young people as agents of social change. And in the process, we hope to reach out to 300 million young people, particularly to those who are most marginalized and at the fringes of society. We hope to create an inclusive space for them and solve structural issues which exist within our education in unemployment systems and provide entrepreneurship opportunities to these young people. Over to you, Suman.
Thanks, Urvashi. So, as a Bible, we would want to reiterate what Yuva is and keep getting and seeking your commitment as you've already committed to the pillar. Pillar two, very simplistically, is focusing on life skills, on learning actually. So, within that is life skills, 21st century skills, and life skills embedded as part of that, and career guidance and foundational learning. Having said that, we will be sharing a lot of resources that partners are generating, which could be of use to all of us. And this is one such webinar where we would be sharing what UNICEF has created, something for public good and something for the use for our partners moving forward. I will just give you an introduction to the UniLearn, and then we take you through the virtual tour as Urvashi has shared through our technical partner and our team here. I'm going to be sharing my screen just to be better organized here. If you look at it, of course, it's a collaborative, oops, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I have to go back to the slide. Collaborative efforts between Yuva and UNOICT and UNICEF. This is an LMS that we are introducing to you today. And let me just share with you what was the need of creating this resource. And this need appeared actually much before COVID and then continued and gained more prominence during COVID. One is that while we were working with UNICEF and our other partners, we realized there's a lot of content that has been delivered. There are lots of solutions that we have been able to generate over past 2 decades in the field of education and in the field of empowerment. But we need to now deliver this probably in a way that makes an impact, because if many of you from the education sector here, you would know that we are still talking about learning crisis. We are still talking about children not being able to get empowered. So we thought it's important that we need to do something different. We need to deliver this content and engage learners as never before. Every sector, not only education, but may I ask you to kindly mute yourself, please? Um, yeah, every sector started to rethink the way they would be delivering this content, and also everyone started to think how best we can utilize distance mode, not only in content delivery but training and teaching learning processes. We thought that it would be important to look at new possibilities of doing these things differently and using new modes of instructions. I'm sure what I'm talking to you all must have gone this thing in that sense would be a deja vu for many of you. Emerging then need appeared that, well, yes, we really need a one-stop platform which would have ease of hosting content, would have ownership, would have customized and individual spaces, would be helpful for sharing, learning. All those thoughts came to our mind. We did look at some of the available platforms such as Diksha and others, and we realized that, well, each platform comes up with certain limitations and certain strengths. Why not create something which could be customized for us? And then, of course, be a supplementary platform in this whole space in India, which is a huge country where there is a space for many things to go on parallelly. So we created UniLearn, LMS, uh, which primarily has host courses, and that was a challenge. What kind of courses would be most applicable? So a lot of thought went into identifying what should be the structure of this entire LMS, looking at the entire age continuum for learning. Well, we did limit ourselves to 24. That's the Yuva age group, but we tried to make it as comprehensive as possible. Each of these courses, as much as possible, has certification. We also said, along with courses which could be self-placed, which could be blended, we should also be looking at a lot of repository as a supplementary material. You know that this is something which all of us, all organizations have created, a lot of material, videos, you may see some documents, PDFs, some reference material, and a whole lot of that was again hosted or collated here on this LMS. Personalized dashboard is something we thought it would be important. As a learner, if you take up a course, you get certified, or you use a repository, how do I manage my learning? So this is a personalized dashboard feature that came into being. And then last but not the least, and becoming more prominent, is the virtual classrooms, trainings, webinars. All of us are becoming much more used to this space now, looking at Zoom, where we are already part of it. The LMS you will see is intersectoral, not just limited to the sector of education with respect to the content and the user. And we've tried to look at dynamic content. What sits on this does not have to stay here forever. It has to be continuously aligned to the need of the learner. But yes, this is a content that we will be looking at, which is more inclusive and multilingual, because we're talking about the diverse country like ours, where it's important to have language as a core focus as well. Multiple participants or audience or users, you may call it, and the other important feature is that it also has linkages to other sites. So it's not that it is totally close to what we are offering here, but we might also identify some very powerful course content which may be sitting elsewhere, which can be very smoothly linked through this site. What we encourage, as Diksha also is encouraging content donation, and we ourselves also donate content for other platforms, the ones which we may have created, subject to the partners agreeing. Many of you who are here have also donated content. So we have Sailors Academy, Tata Institute, Wadhwani Foundation, Pratham, and moving forward, quite a few partners who have been donating content. We're setting up a review committee to look at all this content, and if it is of that quality and robust, that's the one which gets hosted here and used. So importantly, what we want is not only the content. Ultimately, the user needs to have an easy accessibility, a great bandwidth for a platform, and many people. It should be open out to everyone, including the government, civil society, agencies, and whoever. So with that purpose, we have formulated this platform. Just wanted to tell you a bit of Technical specs, while Chand, our partner from UNOICT, would be talking about this. These could help you think about questions you may want to ask. The platform uses Totara. It's an open source LMS, which is based on Moodle technology. The design of the platform is specifically meant to be light and responsive so that you can access it from various platforms. And there are lots of browsers that support this. You can see them written here. You can use it across various operating systems. We realized when we did a bit of an understanding from different states, Bihar and other UP and other states which may not look very, very technology advanced, but we realized that, well, yes, they do have different operating systems which are very compatible to ours, Linux, Windows, and a mobile phone browser. You can use it with desktops and tablets, and you can have super user and admin accounts for LMS management. It means if you decide to take it forward, you would be able to have control on what content can be delivered, when can it be delivered, to who it can be delivered. It does have space for hosting, as I said, the courses, certificates, etc. And very important thing is that you can also manage students or young people here. We can give them passwords, grouping, you can give them expiry and account history, etc. Courses are managed here, so you can have group modules into courses, you can map courses to learner groups or to individual students. So all this that I'm talking will be very quickly showed to you how we can virtually take this forward. Last, what not the least, is how does this work? So actually, if you or any young person or students are the learner, you can auto log in. You can just create your account and you can view the uploaded content. If the content is permissible for downloading, it can be easily downloadable. There's a filter-wise search which has been enabled. There's a defined structure. When you go through the virtual tour, you will see that there's a structure in which the content is organized. We keep improving on this structure, looking at how easily that can be accessed. You can have student performance reports here, module performance reports, all kind of course performance, location-based, custom completion, etc. And then there's a security and support that is offered along with the platform. There's a secured LMS, so the copy protection rights are totally enabled. There's a help feature to guide on how to use LMS and navigate. At this point of time, let me tell you, we have opened it out and we'll be testing it out in big state like Rajasthan. We have almost 125,000 users. 120,000 teachers are using it for a blended training program at this point of time. There are teachers in Assam who have been trained on life skills using this platform. We have almost 208, if I'm not mistaken, courses online now. Many of them have been donated by our partners, and almost 398 repository. So that's all from my side. We'll be happy to take any questions related to programmatic thinking, but I'll open it out for a virtual tour. Vartika, over to you, and then you can lead to Chand if there are any things that you want to talk about, how this thing is organized, and then Chand will take it for a virtual tour.
Thank you,
Kindly
Suman.
write your questions, and we'll be able to take that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Suman. Without any further delay, I will take you to the tour for UniLearn. Just give me a second to share my screen. Yeah, so as soon as you click on the UniLearn link, you will land onto the UNICEF UniLearn homepage. The homepage gives a snapshot of everything that UniLearn has to offer. But before that, you need to get yourself registered. For this, there's a Get Started button. For the people who are logging on to UniLearn for the first time, this button will take you to this template where you will be needed to fill in some of the details like your email ID, your name, your gender, and there'll be a space for where you'll have to select one role, because UniLearn has different dashboard for different users. So the role that you will be picking up will show you the dashboard that has the content relevant to the particular audience. As we scroll down the page, you'll see the features that UniLearn has, the things that UniLearn offers. It includes courses that someone have told us that have been donated. Some of them have been donated by our international and national partners, but there are other courses which we have digitized in-house. Then there are virtual classroom or webinars which we have been using across the states for virtual training of teachers and conducting other workshops and conferences. We have over 300 resources which are placed under repositories. I'll be showing you all the resources here. And we have forums where you can have chat threads where discussions can take place. Moving forward, our catalogs are organized as per the level, school level and age level of the users. So we have courses for secondary and senior secondary teachers, upper primary teachers and students, and primary teachers and students also. We have linked the partner sites here. So along with the resources which are hosted on UniLearn, you can also access the content and resources that our partners have through these links. So when we click, when we sign in, just this, yeah. So I'll be using the role of a teacher and I'll enter the UniLearn platform. So it will directly take us to the dashboard where you can, like personalized dashboard where you can see your courses that you have enrolled to, learning hours that you have spent, certificates that you have achieved. This is the section where all the action takes place. Here we have the courses for students, other courses, ongoing courses. It tells you about your progress also, the completed courses, and also gives you the reports, as someone was telling us about your progress, about the ongoing courses and other things. So I'll first show you the courses. Um, just give me a second. Just give me a second. The page is just loading.
Good morning, all. I'm Chand Kaushal. I'm looking after the ICT part of the platform. While Vartika comes back to this one, I thought it'll be, good. Sumanji has covered almost everything. Let me just give you a brief on the platform itself. So, just to let you know that I see some questions are also coming up in the chat, which I think I can pick up now as well or later on. The platform is cloud-based. It is hosted on Amazon. All the data is by default are stored on the platform, and it's not shared with any partner or anyone, beyond the analytics team. And that's only in an anonymized form for aggregation of numbers. So I see somebody asked if data privacy thing. So there is no data sharing happening from UniLearn to any other partner or any other agency. To answer that one, then K-12, no, we have courses for even the new series coming up from the age group of 10 to 24. Then we have career courses also. We are coming up with many more in coming months, which would be catering to beyond K-12 curriculum from many aspects. And our partners are actively contributing a lot of content here. And if you allow me, maybe let me try to share my screen if I can.
Yeah, could you do that? I think there's a problem with Vartika's bandwidth. So
Yeah, sure. Let me just do it and then we take it on from there. Um, so if you can see, this is currently, how the course catalog looks like. If I click on, let's say, for example, secondary, recently we have in-house developed a number of courses on life skills. So you can see it that life skills learning courses for learners here for the age group of 13 to 15. We have it in English, Hindi, and Gujarati. And also we have, courses for basically majorly for educators. So 3 levels here. The localization or translation for learners is upcoming. Let me just click on one and take you just to give you 1 second. Okay, this is not allowed yet to this particular user maybe, but I can play some other course from any other catalog item. Senior secondary, we have many. So if you see, these are the courses which are contributed by our partners. So if you see this Job Boys 2.1, it is definitely beyond the K-12 curriculum. And when you click, it opens up a screen like this. And once you complete all these, your course is marked as completed. And you have to click enter. It launches itself. These are the contributions. Let me just play for a few seconds. I'll then stop. Okay. Let me just close and come back. And so similar type of courses are available. Going back to the main dashboard, or maybe let me just log out and try to just walk you through here itself. So we have a dashboard also on the top just before the language options. Currently the platform is available in English, Hindi, and Gujarati, but that does not limit the platform from hosting material. Right now you can host any language which is understood by any computer across the globe. So that's the advantage of using Moodle as a core. It allows all sort of languages to be incorporated here. On short note, Moodle is used almost in 200 countries and is duly the official approval from UN is there. UN is using it. United Nations is using it for its internal user or usage also. So the platform security wise and overall community wise is very strong, open source, and a lot of new features are coming up in the current year. We are not introducing all those features yet, but as and when requirement comes, we can enable or disable, depending on the courses. Let me just click on dashboard just to give you a quick glimpse. And you can see it loads the total number of registered users, total number of courses available, total number of items. Average user time per user is 9 hours, 23 minutes, which means if you multiply it, it takes you, to more than 1 million hours of training delivered in past 6 months. Then average time, depending on the categories, you can see here. Live users right now, apart from us, there are 1,242 users undertaking one or the other course on the platform. If you look at the user stats, it gives you brief. It's a very brief and crisp dashboard in terms of providing you some statistics, and it's freely available. You don't have to register for the same. Let me just go back. And when you click on get started, anyone who's not registered, they can just sign up. It takes less than a minute to sign up. You get an email, but sometimes we have noted it lands up in your spam folder. So when you are registering, please check your spam folder also. Once you confirm your email ID, you are in the platform and you have access to all the public side of courses. We do have certain courses which are available for very specific audience. So those courses are not usually, exposed to everybody in the public area. If I just log in from my another account, 1 second. So this is the dashboard from the administrative side. Here you can see I can do user management. I can do team management. I can do courses because this is also available at the UNICEF level to various teams using this particular platform. So if I click on courses, it shows me many more than what was visible to, the teacher. Then we have reports here, various type of. We can also build more reports. So we can have a user-wise report. We can click on a user and say get report to figure out some specific user, or we can pick up course-wise. But these reports are just the default ones. But more can be added as and when they are required. Let me go back to courses. And let me show you to the live webinar thing. We have done number of these webinars in the past, and I think this would be the one Yuva would be using in near future, and that's one of the purposes of this particular one. So this took place last year, towards the end of the last year. If I click on this one, you will be able to see that we have had a forum associated with it and a webinar as well. So if I click on join webinar, uh, it gives me join session and copy URL if I want to share it with others. And these two are the recordings from that one. So a user registered for this webinar can always come back to it, review it, or if they miss a session on day one, they can come back later in the evening and review what has been accomplished during that particular day. And it could be a multi-day webinar, it could be a very short webinar. Normally it allows, I'm sure that many of you will have questions. Up to 200 users we have tested. We have not tested beyond that. It can allow, but we are working on a new technology whereby we would be able to give access to almost 1000 users in next few months. We are launching it, so that's under production right now. But as of now, we have tested with 200 users and it worked very well for us. Apart from the webinar, maybe let me just just click on join session and just show you that how it looks. So when you launch, it asks you want to join with microphone on or just in listen only mode. So if I click on microphone on, let me allow my microphone to be shared here. It checks, and you will see that I'm the only person here in the conference because I'm just giving demo, but it has public chat. So these are the features you get in this particular webinar. From chat, you can use your webcam, audio, emojis. Breakout rooms are there. You have online polling system available for all the moderators of any webinar. Screen sharing is there, and you have multi-user whiteboard as well. We'll come back. You have shared notes on the left. If you will see here, you can have shared notes with others. These are the rich text fields. On top, you have recording button. You can record, and the recordings would be available here, which can be downloaded after the webinar is over by the moderators only. You have this camera icon on top if you want to click some particular slide, just to capture that one, and so on and so forth. Once you start using it, you get more functions available and you can figure out. So you have your status, you can raise your hand and other things. Then you can mute, unmute users here. Maybe it'll be good to have a session in coming days or weeks whenever I think your team organizes one, and then we can actually go through a real webinar to understand it better and see how it works. But this particular platform also, what we use for webinar, we have tested in close to 50 plus countries, and it works very well. During COVID-19 timings, this particular platform has really helped us a lot in doing a lot of virtual trainings, collaboration, and other activities. I'll come back to this one. Apart from this, the repository is another major section we have here, and it is based on various categories. So based on the category you submit, it opens up all the resources available, and then you'll see we have a subcategory also, just to further filter out things. So with more contribution, this will go into thousands, and then it would be required to have more filters. So as and when required, we can create that. The platform is actually managed in-house within United Nations. So adding features and providing certain accesses is really responsive from the technological perspective as well. So these are the various categories available. If you click on any of these, for example, so they open up and then you can download by clicking on this, and it stores itself on your hard disk. Coming back to the dashboard, no, sorry, let me just go to the user level again. User management also is not required at this particular demo we are doing. So courses is something which we can revisit. So anything which is interactive, we call it course in Unilearn. If something is not interactive, it's just one-way communication, we place it under the repository area so that anybody can use it for reference. But when you are building up a webinar, you can have actually courses aligned into that particular session. You can have more material aligned into that session, and it can be customized basically. I think I have one of the things which we customized. Give me a second, I will look for it. So these are the ones which we are running in Rajasthan. If you see, if I click on this, it opens up and you see how the course is designed. So, and we have number of people throughout the 24 hours time logged on into the platform. I believe certain areas which are remote, the internet is not so good. So teachers from these areas usually log in after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. We have monitored, we have not seen even a single minute during the day when there is no teacher logged in from Rajasthan to undertake a particular, training or a course. Going back, I just wanted to showcase one of the webinars where we had maybe this one. Yeah, so this one we had a custom page, and you can see that apart from the webinar, we had few documents, we had a description. So this can be done for each webinar. So when you actually participate, you can have detailed discussion around. You can also have a forum around this particular webinar. I think I'll stop here and we'll go back to Sumanji or Vartika if they have any further inputs, or we take on the questions from here.
I think Chanchi, you have covered almost everything. Maybe we can show them the repositories also where we have aggregated the resources from across the country and international partners also.
Repositories, Vartika, I've already mentioned. So we have quite good amount of resources, and
there is a question by Natalia about offline, downloading on phones and learning offline.
okay, Sumanji, as you've mentioned earlier, if the content owner within UNICEF or the partner team allows it to be downloadable, we can just simply check that box in the course setting itself. Then anybody can, while reviewing that course, can actually download it for offline viewing. So that's a possibility. But it all depends on the course owner who has placed it there to allow it or not allow it. Because certain courses require, you to have a certificate, because for offline courses we usually don't offer certificates are post test based, and we want to see whether a person has spent that much time or not. So there is a criteria for generation of the certificate, so it purely depends on
what are the life skills content, the life skills course that we have created for the 3 age groups? Is that downloadable?
As of now, no, but if
we can do that.
You want, we can do that.
Sure, we should. Yeah. There's a question by Stephanie Chanji. Great. Does the same capture online feedback on the courses undertaken by users and space? So for cross-learning, actually, we have not yet done that, but we will soon be introducing that. Correct, Chanji?
Sumanji, we are using this in these Rajasthan courses actually. So there is an active, feedback system here. And if you see your organization is DLM, your organization is SLM. So these are district level mentors and state level mentors. They do review. They even actually contact those teachers, those who are at the district level, and they interact offline also apart from the platform to figure out. So there are portions where their teachers are supposed to type, and that what they give as feedback or inputs is reviewed by the district level mentors. We have close to 1,200 district level mentors for this program in Rajasthan with us.
Okay, kindly raise hands and you can just pick up open your mic and start asking questions if you want. Any more questions on this? You can just start speaking if you want. I don't see any raised hands. Just to say, yeah, anybody? Yes?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Everything is fully downloadable by anybody who's a user on UniLearn. Is that correct? So it's not like you can charge or anything for the course, correct?
No, we're not charging anything on the course. Most of the course which has been given is free. For example, Pratham, Vadvani, all these are for public good. We would want our children, especially for marginalized, as a focus, to be able to use it for free.
That I understand perfectly. So, and then, so how does a child get onto UniLearn? Like currently, what is the user base? So you would need sort of a captive audience. So for instance, if I was providing content, I would guide the children to go on to UniLearn. Is that how it would be?
Yeah, it does. Chanchi, you can also explain a little better. But yes, definitely, if you are a partner, you work with a certain set of children and you want them to be able to access a particular kind of course as their path journey, which you define, you get them interested to take this on. In some places in schools, we would be fixing timelines for the students to mandatorily take some course, like that 1 hour module that I'm talking about, which students can access on 10 core life skills. So we will open up, the teachers will encourage them if they're in system, and some of the partners who will be out of school will be working with out of school will be encouraging them to take that. So.
Got it. Thank you very much. That was very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, I see hand raised by PK Mishra.
Hi, Shuman. Thank you. I think it's great to learn about this. I think, am I audible?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So I'm seeing this as a great effort, and this would also contribute towards a learning platform of all the partners. But I'm curious to know about that if some partners have developed something. So what is the process of bringing it to here? Any kind of online courses or the kind of modules, everything. So if some good materials have been developed by partners, how this can be uploaded here. Thank you.
As I just said, that we are very open to taking donations, and our team, if you reach out to our team, Yuva and UNICEF will be very happy to look at the content, see how applicable it is, where does it fit in, and get it hosted here for people's larger use. The question on Rajasthan about where UniLearn is being piloted, it's a virtual course, and all the teachers have been instructed to take this course of 11 modules, which has been spread over 5 months now, I think, Chanji, for
Absolutely,
all the
Sumanji.
teachers. Yeah, so
This
all
is-
the teachers, sorry, go
This is
ahead.
across Rajasthan, actually. So there is no specific district or village. It is across our Rajasthan. Teachers are undertaking this particular training program.
Yeah. Sorry, I think Mr. Mishra, I interrupted you. Was your question answered? Okay.
No, that's fine. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There is a question, Chan, here about in Rajasthan with both children and teachers. No, this is with children, Jigna. The district level mentor, there's a huge role if you go through that. I mean, the course is not visible right now for everybody because the state government has made it only explicit to Rajasthan. In this, the teachers are supposed to take one module, go back. They have assigned district level mentors. They do their homework and come back for the second modules. They do take quizzes after every module, and they are marked on it. So that's how it is organized in consultation with the Samagra. There's one question by Jigyasa. Chan, you need to take that. Does the platform have an identification persona for a user when they join? What are the different kind of personas? There are handbooks for teachers, parents too. So do they identify themselves as that audience in the beginning?
We have left it actually, Sumanji, completely open. So a user is free to register themselves as a student or as a parent or a teacher or teaching educator or administrator. Based on what they register, they will be provided content, aligned content accordingly. So
customize that, yeah.
Yeah. So
right.
We have left it open. There is no approval process as such. We have kept at our end.
Okay. Monal, anybody can, I mean, all the partners can donate content. And as I said, we review the content and look at its applicability across our, the structure that was shared with you, and try and use the robust content, one which is of quality, to be hosted over there. So that's the endeavor. How many courses are available for young people who are 18 years and above from livelihood standpoints? This is a work in progress. You will see many of them if you go on. I encourage you to log in yourself and take a tour, and you will know that there are many courses now which are there. There is one from Sailors Academy, quite a few from Sailors Academy, which are very meaningful. Use English as a second language, how to prepare for job interview. Then you have how to create your CVs, things like that. Something on skill development. There's a career guidance piece that is available. Same from Pratham also, we are encouraging those for the older age group. You will also see some courses from Vadvani Foundation. So kindly, Anuj, go ahead and take a virtual tour and see how we take this forward. Okay, Dinu, thank you very much. We will reach out to you for seeking content on ethics, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Great. Any other question? We're open to it. I think we are good. So, Ananya, if you and Urvashi, can we then just close ahead of time, maybe?
Absolutely, Suman. I think.
Okay, so the request is from our side threefold. One, kindly enroll onto this. Go ahead and look at it, see how it can be relevant for reaching children that you work with, the facilitators who are giving their time, energy, everything to the children who really need it the most in this country. So we will be very happy to support you in that journey. Please kindly look at the courses, use them freely. That's one. The second is, if you think that you would want to donate something which has a use for wider our other partners and all, which is not costed, of course, we'll be very happy to host them and let them take on board and get benefited. That's how we can accelerate our reach as well as impact. So that will be extremely, extremely important for us to have you on board as a partner. We will be able to create visibility for your pieces once it gets hosted and make that available for, at least from UNICEF standpoint, at least 17 states that we work in would be good. And for the other partners as well, whoever is working in whichever geography can get benefited. Some of the course content that is still in progress is very powerful. We have some pieces coming up in psychosocial and mental health pieces from Madhya Pradesh. This is I would strongly encourage you to look at the life skills course here and see, and much more which can be put in here. So those are that asks for you. Thank you very much for your time. Look forward to working together on this. So Rishi, over to you.
Thanks so much, everybody. As Suman said, we look forward to hearing from you if you have donations for content. And if you have any suggestions, we're happy to take those into account. Do reach out to Vartika, Suman, and I. If you have any additional questions, we will be sharing a recording of this webinar post this session. And thank you for joining us.
And the PowerPoint too. Okay, thanks.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.